Breaking news tonight on UMTV News. The man who shot one Missouri teenager after he mistakenly knocked on his door while trying to pick up his siblings has been arrested.
Plus, parts of South Florida are still recovering from last week's record rainfall that dumped close to 2 feet of rain on Fort Lauderdale.
And later on, how Miami Beach residents and tourists are coming together to celebrate the LGBTQ community year-round.
All these stories and more on tonight's show, and it starts right now. Hello and welcome to UMTV News. I'm Justice Johnson.
And I'm Anna Kuhn. Thank you for joining us. This afternoon, 84-year-old Andrew Lester, the white homeowner accused of shooting and injuring 16-year-old Ralph Yarl last Thursday in Kansas City, has surrendered to the police. The black teen was shot after he went to the wrong home to pick up his siblings. The Clay County prosecutor says there was a racial component in the case, but did not elaborate. And those who live in the neighborhood say they are still shocked by the incident.
It's a strange world we live in when we're scared to death of our neighbors.
For 32 years, Karen Ullman has lived on 115th Street.
This neighborhood has always been a very quiet neighborhood.
Her house is a few doors down from where Ralph Yarl was shot.
If you're that scared at 10:30 at night, why did you open the door?
Still shocked from what happened just up the street.
The fact that you open the door and then shoot the person on the other side, and it's a kid.
The home of 84-year-old Andrew Lester, now tagged with graffiti and eggs.
Felt compelled to come have my feet on the ground out here.
It's drawn dozens of people as they learn more about what happened, like Trisha Loftus and her daughter Ashlyn.
We came from LA out to Kansas City to just show support and see how we could be involved advocating for justice and just advocating for what we feel is right as humans.
It still even today is complete shock that anybody would do that.
For now, this once quiet neighborhood will remain on edge as the community waits for answers and accountability.
I think we need to keep speaking about it. This isn't going to go away if we don't talk about it and have a dialogue.
Lester will now face 2 felony charges, assault in the first degree and armed criminal action. If convicted, he could spend the rest of his life in prison.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has declared a state of emergency in Broward County due to a series of storms last week that caused record-breaking flooding in South Florida. According to the National Weather Service, about 26 inches of rain came down on Fort Lauderdale in 24 hours, forcing about 600 residents out of their homes, while also breaking the previous flooding record of 14 inches. Neighboring towns Hollywood and Dania Beach also experienced about 17 inches of rain. Government officials have urged residents to keep off of the roads at this time, as the damage is still being assessed.
And after that record rain, residents across Miami-Dade and Broward County are lining up at the pump after flooding delayed deliveries at gas stations across South Florida. Residents have faced long waits for gas, with many saying they went to multiple stations before finding fuel. County officials stated gas deliveries are expected to increase over the next few days.
Last June, 25-year-old Jalen Walker was shot and killed by 8 police officers in Ohio after fleeing from a traffic stop. Tonight, his family is saying that they will file a civil suit. The family's decision comes right after a special grand jury declined to indict the 8 officers responsible for Walker's death. Police say that Walker had shot at police in an attempt to flee the traffic stop, and the Ohio Attorney General says that the officers were justified in their use of force. The 8 officers currently remain unidentified and on the police force.
Republican lawmakers say an agreement to raise the debt ceiling could come sooner rather than later, as the June 5th budget deadline looms. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy traveled to the New York Stock Exchange on Monday to lay out Republicans' plan to raise the debt limit to pay off the federal government's $31.4 trillion debt. Speaker McCarthy says the U.S. must cut spending and criticizes Democrats for not sharing that concern.
Fear about higher prices. I share them. And I share their conviction that we must change course before it's too late.
With a slim majority in the House, Republicans are going to have to draft a bill that can gain support from some of the most extreme members of the GOP, who are claiming they want bigger cuts than McCarthy is proposing.
The battle against abortion continues, this time attacking pills. On Friday, the Supreme Court temporarily blocked a Texas lower court's decision that prevents patients from getting the mifepristone abortion pill. The abortion ruling made for a sweeping victory for abortion opponents. It calls into question the Food and Drug Administration's approval for mifepristone. Justice Samuel Alito stated that the hold would remain in effect until midnight on Wednesday to give the justices time to consider what steps to take next.
And further measures against abortion have been taken here in Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis signed the Heartbeat Protection Act last week, banning abortion at around 6 weeks of pregnancy. DeSantis has been criticized for quietly signing the bill at 11 p.m. on Thursday night and has not addressed the legislation in recent remarks across the state. Critics say DeSantis may be keeping quiet due to his potential 2024 run for the White House.
Design their path, right? We shouldn't have national abortion bans. I disagree with 6 weeks vehemently. Of course, that's a horrible position to be. And it's upsetting a lot of folks because a lot of Republicans are realizing it's going to hurt our message and hurt our ability to win.
DeSantis' major GOP competitor, former President Donald Trump, has not spoken out about the bill, but the two have been butting heads in other ways.
Anna, they definitely have. We will take a short break now, but when UMTV returns, we'll bring you the details of the most recent feud.
DeSantis and Trump have spent millions on campaign ads, even before DeSantis' official announcement.
Plus, Relay for Life comes back to the University of Miami campus. We'll be right back.
Right! No! Bro, but you're not even gonna do anything! Yes, I was! Yes, no!
Former President Donald Trump and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis are at each other's necks, fighting for the 2024 White House. Some are saying the two candidates have gone overboard with their presidential campaign ads, and the two super PAC groups supporting Trump and DeSantis have spent more than $7.5 million. Super PAC group Never Back Down, supporting DeSantis, has already raised over $30 million for DeSantis' campaign, even though he has not publicly announced his candidacy. And Trump is firing back, coming directly for DeSantis with heat in his ads.
And we're not just talking about.
Pollsters say DeSantis' campaign success depends entirely on his performance in the early primary states. And on the other side, many are waiting to see if Trump will be able to continue with his campaign, all contingent on the trial for his indictment earlier this month.
One organization, Relay for Life, is encouraging people across the world to help make a change in their communities, and it came to campus last week. Lauren Lennon joins us now with more on this organization and how it's made an impact on our very own campus. Lauren.
Thanks, Justice. This past week, students took to the Foot Green to take part in the annual Relay for Life event. And for one student, this event is something he cherishes every year.
In life, a lot of things come unexpected. For David Rise, a student at the University of Miami, his unexpected changed his life.
My senior year of high school, I remember I was looking forward to homecoming was coming up. It was in a week or two. And just recently, my mom had gotten into a bad car accident. And then my mom had gone to see a doctor because she was still suffering some pain and stuff from her car accident. And then she had revealed to us that while they were running tests to find internal bleeding, that they had found 2 cancer tumors in her abdomen.
Though his mom went into remission by the end of his senior year of high school, this experience continues to spark his passion.
Coming into college as a freshman was kind of like clean slate. I want to find something that calls to me. And that's when I stumbled across Relay for Life.
And after stumbling across the organization, Rise immediately got involved.
So Relay for Life is basically, it's like an organization where students come together and they kind of raise money for cancer.
Organizations at the University of Miami participated in tabling, games, and other activities at the event, but Rise had another plan in mind to raise money.
I volunteered to get in the dunk tank, have my friends come and dunk me.
By the end of the event, the University of Miami raised over $22,000, surpassing their goal. And for all of the student attendees, this event was nothing short of impactful.
It always feels good to give back, contributing money to a cause that's, bigger than us, bigger than our chapter, bigger than the organization. You see all these people out here today, it's just a good feeling.
Rise's organization was able to raise $530 for the cause. And Rise and his mom could not be more proud.
This year, the University of Miami had a total of 13 teams and 70 individuals participate. If you're interested in helping the cause, you don't have to wait until the next Relay for Life to do so. You can still make donations on the Relay for Life website. Reporting live for UMTV, I'm Lauren Lennon.
Thank you, Lauren. One organization called Feeding South Florida held a food bank this past weekend in Broward County. Ashley Valencia attended the event and joins us now live to tell us more. Ashley?
Anna, over 100 people participated in this event Saturday morning, with more than half being Kane alumni. Feeding South Florida is a nonprofit hunger relief organization serving the communities of Palm Beach, Broward, Miami-Dade, and Monroe County. The Broward County Canes, which is a alumni association, joined Feeding South Florida to help assist in repacking, inspecting, and donating food. Volunteers of all ages showed up to lend a hand.
It was a bunch of food going out there. They're giving it out. We managed to do 17,000 pounds of in under 3 hours. That's insane.
Events like this are great to socially connect people together and meet through acts of service. That's exactly how two former Kane alumni came to be part of this event.
I've always been an advocate of giving back. I came to the States as an immigrant, so I had to work my way up. Things didn't come easy. So any way that I could find to give back, help others.
Although these two Kane alumni have different backgrounds, they share the same objective. President of Broward County Canes shares her story of how she started volunteering when she was just 12 years old.
My mom would wake me up at like 5 in the morning, and we would make peanut butter jelly sandwiches. We would drive down when it was still dark in the morning to downtown Fort Lauderdale and hand them out to homeless people.
The efforts of Milana and Marcy are examples of how two individuals are taking action and helping their communities and bringing pride to the UM name. Feeding South Florida distributes food for more than 1.5 million people. If you want to help, this organization offers events for various volunteer opportunities every month. For UMTV, I'm Ashley Valencia. Back to you.
Thank you, Ashley. Miami Beach Pride returned April 1st with a 2-week lineup of events. Miami Beach celebrated 15 years of LGBT Pride this past weekend. Last Saturday was the beginning of the 2-day Pride Festival in Lummis Park. Attendees dressed in their best Pride gear and even cooled off from the Miami heat using signature Pride flags. Many organizations tabled, spreading positive and inclusive messages while also handing out free merchandise for the people to enjoy. Miami Beach Pride comes at a time of peak legislative suppression.
It shows that it's not a problem to be gay and that we be ourselves and it doesn't hurt anybody around the world. We're normal people.
This year's festival attracted more than 170,000 people. Next year's Pride will be held in April 2024.
We're going to take a quick break now, but right after this,
we'll take you to a fun event to celebrate on World Art Day.
And we'll introduce you to one organization who has learned a special new skill. Stay with us. UMT News will be right back.
I didn't talk about it. I was told not to talk about it. So I'm here to talk about it.
Because I can't stay quiet.
I was able to break my silence.
Because of those who refuse to stay quiet.
I am a businesswoman.
Activist.
Survivor. Survivor. Survivor.
There's some good news tonight for one Buffalo Bills football player. On January 2nd, Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin went into cardiac arrest after making a tackle in a game against the Cincinnati Bengals. But tonight, the 25-year-old is cleared to return to the field, and he's already back in action, participating in this week's voluntary off-season practices.
California-based music festival Coachella took place over the weekend. Artists like Charlie XCX, Bjork, Rosalia, and Bad Bunny performed on the big stage for over 250,000 attendees. And the infamously elusive Frank Ocean had his first live performance in 6 years, but not all fans were thrilled with his comeback. The artist performed for only 30 minutes after coming on stage over an hour late. The festival will be back next Friday through Sunday for week 2 with the same exact lineup.
And this week we celebrated World Art Day, and it left creatives dabbling in more than just a little paint. Our reporter Brandy Troop is live outside the School of Communication to tell us more. Brandy?
The Artisans Playhouse hosted its very first event for World Art Day. The Hialeah multi-purpose space had a packed house of creatives. Every year, April 15th marks a day of global artistry.
World Art Day means just community and creativity. So we really want to open up our space for people to create and be able to just mingle, make friends, and do cool things together.
Ruben and wife Giovanna's studio space, the Artisans Playhouse, opened its doors to creatives.
We decided to invite different artists to just lead in what they do and just have stations accessible for people to create.
Wood burning, collaging, painting, hand building, and weaving are a part of the festivities.
I teach tapestry weaving, and it's specifically to create any pieces that you want to hang on your wall. We can create anything from very small to very large pieces.
It's already under 2 on these, you're gonna do over 2, under 2, so you're gonna do the opposite.
The realm of art is appreciated as it is limitless and embraces all.
Anyone who can use their hands or their feet or any part of their body can create art, so I feel like it's a very universal human experience.
Artisans Playhouse added a special mixture to the day, allowing guests to paint with bunnies.
Being able to grab a little bunny, pet it, release some stress, it's a good therapy session, I think.
Of course, holding and painting bunnies on World Art Day sounds like fun, but these snuggle bunnies are here at the Artisans Playhouse for more than just canvases and cuddles.
We have a big enclosure at our house because we love bunnies. So we had 10. One of the boys got into the girls' side, so we ended up having a few litters. So we brought some over for adoption, and people loved them. They were able to hold them.
The combination of art and a furry friend had many there in a hop.
A couple of weeks ago, I was like, oh, I wish I had a bunny. And then we saw this, I was like, let's go. And then I was looking at the bunnies, and then this was like the calmest one. So I was like, yeah, this one for sure.
Artisans Playhouse's first World Art Day goes down on the canvas as a success.
Being able to see people having fun is what we're all about, and that's why we started the space in general. And having like our pets that we love so much being incorporated in it feels good.
3 bunnies found new homes on the festive day. Ruben and Giovanna plan to open a bunny cafe where people can socialize in an intimate space around the fur babies. For UMTV, I'm Brandy Troop.
Thank you, Brandy. Parenting is hard work for every species in the animal kingdom, but one zookeeper has proved that a little bit of help can go a very long way. At Virginia Zoo, one orangutan named Zoe was having a bit of trouble adopting motherhood after giving birth. Her zookeeper recognized the problem immediately and concluded that it was probably because Zoe's mother died just when she was 9 months old. The zookeeper, who is now a mother herself, was able to teach Zoe how to nurse her baby using a monkey see, monkey do technique. And within only 24 hours, Zoe had learned the new ropes.
What an incredibly smart monkey.
Right?
Very impressive at the zoo. That's it for this edition of UMTV News, but be sure to join us at the same time next week for the final episode of the semester.
Can't believe that it's over, but have a great night and stay safe.